Right, to start our mastery drawing based on color, we're going to use a ruler and a pencil. And you want to keep your lines as light as possible. I'm going to draw mine darker just so that you can see them. And the first thing I'm going to do is line up my ruler with each corner of my paper and draw a light diagonal line. I'm going to do the same thing from other corner to other corner. Then the next thing I'm going to do is measure 3 inches all the way around. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is these rulers, a lot of times, I'll see if I can zoom you guys in here. The measurement does not start, sorry, let me go this way. The measurement does not start right at the edge of the ruler here. It actually starts here, okay? So as you're creating your measurements for your 3-inch mark, you want to line up your paper with this beginning mark of the ruler. Okay, so I'm doing that each time. Just make sure you do that, otherwise your lines might be off. I'm gonna line it up across the top of the paper and put a little mark right at the 3-inch line. I'm gonna line up my ruler, the side here. I'm gonna put another mark at the 3-inch line, rotate, line up my ruler, put another mark at the 3-inch line, line up my ruler here, another mark at the 3-inch line. Okay, and then with a light line, I'm going to connect the top notch and the bottom notch, and then side to side. Okay, and so this will be what I have so far. All right, from here, I'm gonna go ahead and connect on the diagonal my points that touch in the center, each of my 3-inch mark ones. I'm gonna go ahead and just connect those. So this was my 3-inch mark. I'm gonna connect it to the other one. All right, so this is what I have now. Looks like this. All right, at this point, this is where life becomes a little bit trickier. Okay, let me share with you the final here. Eventually, we're turning this into this. Okay, and so what we're going to do is measure essentially around the border what would be a 1/4 of an inch border around each of these squares that we have created. Okay, so we're gonna take this and turn it into this. Okay, now before we do that, I do want to share with you that on your ruler, okay, you have, I'm looking at this top section here, okay, the long line for the inch, okay, the next biggest line is the 1/2 inch. Okay, so this is the next largest line out of all of these here. It's the 1/2 inch. And then this one right here, the next longest line, oops, I can't get you, there you go. Next longest line right here is the 1/4 inch. Okay, so we want the 1/4 inch line. See how it's a little bit bigger than these other ones? This is the one we want. Okay, and remember, I have to line up my ruler with this line rather than the edge, right? Okay, so I'm going to measure at each corner that 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I am going to line up my ruler, create a mark. I'm also going to do it in these center sections here. Line up my ruler, create a mark. I'm going to do one on the other side of this as well. Make a mark. I'm doing that 1/4 inch each time. Then at the edge here, going to make a mark. I'll try and zoom you all in so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay. Lining up my ruler. 1/4 inch. I'm going to do it right here for the center line on either side of the center line. Keep in mind each time you line up the ruler, you've got to make sure you're lining it up from the correct spot, okay? Okay. I'm going to do this next side a little bit faster. Lining up 1/4 inch. Lining up 1/4 inch. Lining up 1/4 inch. Lining up 1/4 inch. Last side. Lining up 1/4 inch. I'm going to line it up right here in the center, on that center. One side 1/4 inch, other side 1/4 inch. And then this one right here. Okay. I think I have all of them, but let's try. All right, so at this point, zoom you guys out, we're going to basically connect the dots across and vertical. Okay, so I'm gonna line up my ruler. I'm gonna start up here at the top so I don't forget anything, okay? So I'm gonna line up notch to notch across and draw a line. I'm gonna do the same thing here, right across, lining up notch to notch, drawing a line, lining up notch to notch. Doing the notches helps you keep a straight measurement. Notch to notch across. All right. Then I'm going to shift my paper and do it the other way. So same thing I just did, but I shifted my paper. Notch to notch. Notch to notch. Notch to notch. And then the last thing we have to do is do a little bit of erasing. Okay, so in order to make this one look like this one, there are a couple of little lines that need to be erased. Okay, so essentially we need to get rid of some of these corner boxes. Okay, so I'll zoom you all in just so you can see. Okay. In fact, you can't even really see here, even if I zoom you in. Ah! Sorry, y'all. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do on each of these corners is keep the diagonal, but just get rid of this little box. Keep the diagonal. Same thing here. Keep the diagonal, get rid of that little box that encases it. Keep the diagonal, get rid of the box. Keep the diagonal, get rid of the box. Okay, so I'm going to do that on each side. Keep the diagonal, get rid of the box. Just in the corner. Just in the corner. Keep the diagonal, get rid of the box. 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 Okay, now I'm also going to do it on the interior part here. Okay, so in the center section, I'm gonna make sure I do that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the diagonal here in this corner of this smaller box. Look real quick, so this is the edge of the smaller one, okay? Do it here. So get rid of the small boxes in the corner. Accidentally erase that line in the middle. Okay, so I got rid of those. Okay. And then I think I am good. All right. So this is what I have. Okay. There you go. All right. This essentially is ready for paint. Okay, so double check your work for me. Obviously, you can fast forward this, you can slow it down just depending on what you need. Make sure you use that ruler, okay?